Now let's look at this. Now look at the marriage ceremony. Now, at first, when a man married a woman, he was in charge of the whole ceremony. Like he had his friends there, and a drink. Like he planned the event, all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? It was all about him. Now, it's all about the woman. It's all about how big the ring is. She's planning it. She's getting a wedding planner. She's spending the money because it's all about her dating. That's what I'm saying. Men do not even have, what's the word? Pretty much input in the marriage ceremony and putting it together. What his job is to provide the resources and provide the money in order for that to happen. Whatever the woman's imagination, what she has in her head, he's supposed to make that happen. And if he cannot make that happen, she has a problem with that and probably will not get married until he does make that happen. Think about it. Now, when that woman gets ready to get married, right? At the actual ceremony in the church, all these people are all there. And at the altar is the bride's maids, which is like the woman's a royal court, and then it's the male's friends and everything like that. Right? So they lined up. The man is sitting there waiting. Right? And when the music plays, dude, when the music plays, dude, it's this big dramatic fucking thing with a woman, the doors open. No, you know what I'm saying? Before even the door, it's just so dramatic where you got the little kids fucking putting down roses and shit. You got the girls doing it. Then you got the boys doing the thing or whatever like that. You have people marching down the aisle on beat and everything like that. All this procession is going on before that woman comes out. When she comes out, if her father's alive, her father is holding her hand or whatever like that. The true motherfucking king, right? He's holding her hand and all that type of stuff, holding her arm or whatever like that. And she is walking down the aisle in this beautiful ass dress. Her face is covered. You know what I'm saying? All that. It's like this mystical, magical queen aura woman, dude, is walking through that fucking church, man. Now, watch, if you've ever been in a wedding, right? If you've ever been at a wedding, and if you've ever have been able to see that man's reaction when he sees that woman walking down that aisle, he gets so emotional, dude. He starts to cry. He starts to cry. Because he knows in his brain that his life has no fucking meaning without her. Let's talk about that. Why else is he crying? The old way, he wasn't crying. The old way, the woman was crying like that. I found my husband, I'm so grateful. Now, that woman that's walking down the aisle is a queen, royal type of person and shit, like godly, all that. And they sit there, right? And they sit there in front of the pastor and all that type of stuff. And usually it's in a church the religion is followed by the woman and her family. It ain't even have nothing to do with the man. Like the wedding ceremony really don't have shit to do with that man at all. It's her shit. And they share their vows in front of God. Think about that. Now look at this. In America, right, so we're going to talk about specific things when it comes to marriages now and how it's changed. All right, so follow me. In America, girls were taught that they needed a husband. So people in the community will be like, you need a husband, Caroline, or whatever like that. You need to go find your husband, blah, 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 blah. So they'll go try to find a husband. Not no more. Men are trying to find wives now. So it's changed. Another point. Look at this one. Back in the day when men wasn't, in control of the wedding, when a man left a woman, she received nothing, right? Nothing. The laws back then of the land protected the man's assets, protected his properties. He was even then he was even given rights and custody of the children. Like he could take the children away. Not no more. Go to court right now and see what happens. All right? Go to court right now and see what happens. The woman is getting all that shit. Now let's go back to the marriage ceremony. Let's go back to the marriage ceremony when they make those vows. The woman is dead ass serious about the goddamn vows. Right? She is dead ass serious about them vows. She is not fucking around. Now, and also, before you even look at that, look at them rings. That man has a basic wedding band going around. It don't even cost no money, really. Right? Look at that woman's ring. That woman's ring is like royalty, and it's like a big ass motherfucking rock. A lot of times it's big as a big rock, but it's bigger than the man's ring. That woman has a diamond in you know what I'm saying, a big ass diamond in her ring. It ain't two big ass diamonds in one thing. It's one diamond, dude. Right? Pretty much. A lot of time, and like little diamonds around it, probably. Right? Look at those wedding rings. It's usually one big diamond, right? Look at a man's ring. He ain't got no diamonds in his motherfucking ring at all. All right? Look at it. A lot of the time. And what's so crazy is he has to buy both fucking rings. That is crazy, right? He got to buy both rings. He got to buy his ring and the woman's ring. Crazy. Now let's go back to the vows, right? She say her vows. He say his vows, right? They make an agreement in front of God, in front of that pastor, in front of that family, in front of their friends, dude. They make an agreement. Whatever them vows is, dude, right? Now, if that man ever break them motherfucking vows dude, in any way possible, any type of way, dude, right now, that woman's done with him, dude. She making that decision. I don't care. Man, if he cheat on her, infidelity, some shit, which is the main thing, right? If he starts getting lazy and don't provide and protect and all that type of shit, at her own discretion, that woman will go to court and say, I do not want to fuck with this motherfucker no more. You have disrespected me in front of God. You have disrespected me in front of the church. You have disrespected me in front of my family and my friends, dude. Right? Think about it. So when I go to court, this is reason why. This is my opinion. The reason why. This is why that woman gets every motherfucking thing, man. Because that man dishonored that vow and that agreement, dude. Because that queen that he is marrying, right, is motherfucking serious about what the fuck is going on. That wedding very important. She is creating a union with a male, and is trusting that man is doing what he is supposed to do. She is like, it's like she knows she can do the shit herself, right? She knows she can do it herself, right? Now time, she knows when she get married, she knows she can do that shit herself. But the fact that she will say, like, you know what? I'm not going to be that powerful as a queen. I am going to lower some shit about myself, right? I'm going to remove some of my masculinity and shit, right? I'm really a motherfucking warrior. I'm really a fighter. I can do all this shit my motherfucking self if I want to. Look at all these goddamn people in this goddamn church. If I have kids and shit like that, they gonna help me raise them. If I want to create a business, they gonna help me run it. But the woman is like saying herself, you know what? I'm gonna lower some of my masculine energy, right? I'm gonna get more into my feminine energy and shit, right? And I'm gonna allow you to be able to express yourself as a man. But don't get it fucked up. If you ever cross me, dude, it's over for you. I am going to take everything that you have and I'm going to leave you destitute for betraying me again. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. Now, let's talk about some other points. Back in the day, in marriage, when men control these marriages, men used to work, right? Men used to work, conquer shit, all that type of stuff, come back home to the village, and he gave the man, he gave the woman whatever the fuck he wanted to give her. Like, he'd give her scraps. He saved money and shit, all that type of stuff, dog. He barely gave that woman enough to be able to survive. Oh no, it's like he'd give her enough so she could survive on her own, put it that way. So he just gave her a little shit, barely shit to survive. Nowadays, or before right now and shit like that, let's just say before right now. Let's look at like the 50s and the 60s and shit like that, right? When men was working, they came home, right? They was married, they came home and gave their women all their motherfucking paycheck, right? This is all factual. Gave that woman his paycheck. He worked all motherfucking week. Gave that woman his paycheck. That woman looked at that paycheck, right, and took out a certain amount of money, for her to be able to buy groceries and all that type of stuff, for what's going on and all that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Taking care of the kids, all that. And she gave him a portion what she felt he should have in order to survive through the week. So you know what that man was getting? Beer money. He was getting money barely to motherfuckers. He couldn't really do shit or do too much for him to run off and do some other shit. See how that changed? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about that shift. Let's talk about that shift, man, in the concept of marriage. And the reason it's like that is because the man who created the concept of marriage betrayed that woman. So what the woman did was she became in power now, right? Of the whole marriage shit. And she's basically saying that if you ever cross me, you're gonna pay for it. Literally pay for it. Yeah. And she's letting that man know that I don't fucking need you like that. I don't need you the way it used to be, man. Because when I allowed you to be able to lead, and when I allowed you to have control of my life, you abused me and you betrayed me, dude. That woman still understand that shit. Like generations now, they still understand that. It's being taught. They still understand it. That's why when a woman has her friends around, right, and that man starts to do weird ass shit, it's her friends telling her ass, daughter, leave that motherfucker up. Don't take that abuse. Don't take that, none of that shit, dude, like that. You should leave, dude, and I'm going to help you do whatever you need to do to leave and help you survive, dude, until you get back on your feet. Back in the day, it wasn't even like that. Women were telling women to stay in them abusive relationships. Women was like saying, like, you know what? Josh is a good guy, man. So what? He gave you a black eye. He still be able to feed you. Where you going to go? You can't take care of yourself. You see how it changed? You see how it changed, man? And when I look at that shit, man, right? When I look at you, I'm like, what is the problem with that? I don't understand what the problem is. At all. Because back in the day, there was nobody around to hold the man accountable for what the fucked up shit he was doing. Other men wasn't doing it because they were just like him. And the women didn't have no voice or shit. They couldn't change some shit. Nowadays, he's being held accountable.